How China overtook Japan to become a global superpower. Hello everyone, welcome to New World Affairs. In today's video, we look at two of Asia's leading economies, Japan and China, and how China eventually overtook Japan. For centuries, Japan has been a force to reckon with, but just how did they lose the baton to China? For many years, Japan was ahead of China in terms of economic development. Japan's economy was one of the fastest growing in the world in the 1960s and 1970s. Its economic ascent garnered both fear and admiration, but the boom unraveled after the property bubble burst and has fully never recovered from the stagnation of the 80s and 90s coupled with its aging population. Japan held the slot as the second largest economy in the world for more than 40 years. It has long been a major player in the global economy, with its high-tech manufacturing and automotive industries being some of the most renowned in the world. Japan's strong educational system and well-developed infrastructure have made it an attractive destination for foreign investment. But just how did the story of China start? On 1st October 1949, Communist leader Mao Zedong announced the creation of the People's Republic of China following a bitter civil war between the nationalists and the communists. China was poor and in isolation with no trading partners and no diplomatic relationships, as they were relying on self-sufficiency. Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward was an attempt to rapidly industrialize China's peasant economy, but its failure led to 10 to 40 million people dying between 1959 to 1961, the most costly famine in human history. The economic disruption of the Cultural Revolution in the 1960s was a campaign Mao launched to rid the Communist Party of his rival, but rather ended up destroying much of China's social fabric. So how did China go from an impoverished nation to becoming a global powerhouse? After the death of Mao Zedong in 1976, reforms spearheaded by Deng Xiaoping began to reshape China's economy. Peasants were given the right to farm their own plots, improving standards of living and reducing food shortages. Even after Mao's death, his demographically calamitous one-child policy brutalized millions over a 40-year period. US and China began re-establishing diplomatic ties in 1979, as the door was now open to foreign investment. The country was ready to take advantage of cheap labor and low rent costs, and money started pouring in. From the end of the 1970s onwards, we have seen what is easily the most impressive economic miracle of any economy in history, as stated by the World Bank's global chief economist. Through the 1990s, China started to witness rapid growth rates, and joining the World Trade Organization in 2001 gave it another boost. Soon, Chinese goods were everywhere as trade barriers and tariffs with other countries were lowered. According to the World Bank, 900 million Chinese have been lifted out of poverty. Today, China's 40 years of reform has turned it into a superpower. Through the introduction of a series of landmark market reforms, which opened up trade routes and investment flows, ultimately pulling millions of people out of poverty. Additionally, China's large consumer base provides a vast potential for increased sales and profit for companies operating within it. Chinese authorities have also implemented several policies designed to encourage foreign investments by offering incentives such as tax breaks or reduced tariffs on certain goods imported into the country. These policies have made it easier for foreign companies to operate in China as compared to other countries such as Japan, where regulations are more strict. At the time China's economic growth began, Japan also started experiencing a period of economic stagnation, a shrinking population, deflation, and a lack of innovation in its industries. Japan has one of the highest levels of public debt in the world, which limits its ability to invest in new industries and infrastructure and compete with countries like China. On the other hand, China has invested heavily into research and development over recent years, which has resulted in significant advances in technology that are now being used by many multinational corporations around the world today. China now has its sight on US, which it could overtake in a couple of years if it keeps its trend. New visitors to China are often rightly awestruck by the high-tech megacities connected by brand-new highways and the world's largest high-speed rail network, and the skyscrapers festooned. China's story is one every country can learn from. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe for more videos.